Doop, 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 doop. Boom! Another successful landing. It is snowing and cold outside. Giant fluffy flakes. You know those sort of snowflakes that are like 30 snowflakes together? Those kind of big fluffy flakes. Sure, the roads will be slick tomorrow. I have an article that I've written for Apple. I'll put the link below. It's called Methodology to Protect Your Data. Did a lot of tech support stuff for Apple. For a good while there, I was the #1 person in the world for doing tech support on the MacBook Air. I've got literally hundreds of hard drives, which kind of sounds odd even when I say it. I've fixed hard drives. You don't fix them like if you have motor failure or you have identical hard drives. You just do part swap out. Head crash, of course, is another issue. But people that get concerned when they have data loss are people that have failed to plan. And the old saying goes that those who fail to plan are planning to fail. This is no joke, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. I've had people lose their jobs. They said, I got a wife and kids, I just lost my job because I had all the data on the computer that was important to the company, and no way to get it back, and we've sent it off, and files are too corrupt, and the company will just lose an enormous amount of data. Everybody kind of suffers from the same mental defect, and it doesn't matter if it's an Apple computer, a Windows, or a Dell. It doesn't make any difference. Solid-state drives and hard drives specifically are only produced by a handful of people. So it doesn't matter if it's a hard drive or solid-state drive or a hybrid drive instead of a Mac or a Windows. I don't give a hoot in hell what machine you use. They all suffer from the same ferromagnetic depolarization, bit rot, corruption, mechanical failure. Well, it's true that solid-state drives, for example, don't have any moving parts in them, of course. They still suffer from bit rot and corruption. They still have nearly all the same issues. The best hard drives on earth, which they have 2 new breeds now, but they used to be Western Digital Black. They're server-grade hard drives. If you took a brand new one that was perfect and put all your important data on it and stuck it in a fireproof safe, humidity control, the data still rots. We call it bit rot. Same is true of solid-state drives. People don't know many fundamental things, and I would encourage you to read the article that I wrote below. I myself have my primary collection of texts that I've been working on collecting for over 20 years is a little over 13 terabytes. But the core fundamental stuff, the stuff that I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into getting a hold of, and I put a lot of effort into it. I am not going to suffer stupidity and throw away, a half or a third of my life, based upon, no matter how expensive it is, and I got the best of the best, hard drives and solid-state drives. You can't stick all your eggs in one basket or trust they're going to be any good there. Everybody also, too, makes the same mistake, the fundamental psychological flaw that everybody suffers. Well, it's a brand new computer, I don't have to worry about it, everything's okay. No. No computer is a storage device, by the way, a data storage device. People think that they are, but they're not. When they actually get a new computer, like when you buy an Apple, for example, and I don't care if you hate Apple, I don't care at all. You'll say, well, come standard with a 256 solid-state drive, 256 gig, I got a lot of data. I'm going to upgrade it to a 1 terabyte or a 2 terabyte. Well, that's all well and fine, and there are some useful aspects to that for video editing and some other things, but people turn their computer into a data storage device and make a fundamental mistake. They think stuff is, well, I'm going to have a backup, I'm going to make a clone. That's better, but 2 copies is 1 and 1 is none. A single backup actually migrates risks, and people keep upgrading that backup, and what they do is they migrate the risk, they migrate the corruption, they migrate bit rot over a longer period of time. Also, too, people don't want to hear this, and I don't care what people want to hear. It's about the facts. It's not what people like or don't like, because I don't give, a single heck about what you like. This is a hardcore fact, and it's undeniable. That and nobody basically burns discs anymore. They do, actually. The biggest thing for data backup is tape backup. We're talking about super expensive systems, though. You know, industrial grade tape backup. And Fujifilm is a leader of that. So is IBM. Tape backup is still a thing for like enormous amounts of data. Like the IRS and other entities, they still use tape backup. There's a thing called M-Disk, and it's only one variety, but it's archival optical. We're not talking about storing massive amounts of data. Just the stuff that is, oh crap, I can't lose that data at any cost. Everybody on Earth, you know, with some exceptions, myself included, by the way, doesn't have an enormous amount of data over like 50 gigabytes. You know, in other words, it's 50 gigabytes. We could even take it to 100. That's still excessive. Really, it's like 50 gigabytes or less. 50 gigabytes of data where it is absolutely important that it never, ever, ever get destroyed, period. No matter what, ever. And that is what archival optical is for. Well, I don't like burning disks. Nobody burns disks. Nobody cares what you like. I don't like burning disks either. But get yourself a 100-pack of archival optical. It used to be Teo Yuden. Teo Yuden was bought out. I still have an enormous amount of Teo Yuden blank disks for burning archival optical information to. In other words, 100 years after you're dead, the data will still be safe. In other words, it's that holy crap data. I can't lose this at any cost. And it's not safe on a solid-state drive, and it's not safe on any hard drive either. Bitrot is bitrot is bitrot. However, archival, and I don't mean those discs that you buy at Best Buy, you know. After a couple months of exposure or even a week laying out in the sun on a dashboard of a car, the data is gone because it's optical write, and sun will cause it to vanish. It will literally vanish from the disk. M-disks have a mineral layer. Army and government agencies, CIA, NSA, have done a lot of testing, age data progression, attacks on the disks, and they're good for at least 1,000 years. So I don't want anybody's comment telling me how much they hate burning disks, because it's not about what you like, it's about facts. There's only one safe method of, well, there's more than one. There's another one that's really expensive, and it uses platinum sandwiched between synthetic sapphire. It's supposed to be good for millions of years. In other words, we could put the most important information of humanity on those disks, which are not really disks, they're giant slabs. They're essentially indestructible. They will last until the Earth lasts. They're fascinating stuff. Synthetic sapphire and platinum. You actually burn to the platinum, and it's sandwiched between synthetic sapphire, which is, for all intents and purposes, you know, unless you try to attack it, is essentially indestructible. It doesn't degrade. That's a fascinating tech. Each one of those blank discs, by the way, I think is like $20,000. Fascinating. For everybody else, including the government and so on and so forth. Archival optical. I have several copies of this. This is not the only one. This is a 1 terabyte SanDisk solid-state drive. I recommend the hell out of these. I make neck lanyards out of these. I wear them as necklaces. You go places with them. I have, and these are all copies of the same thing. And I also, too, have the most important stuff burned on archival optical. I have over 20 years of really hard work. Really, a lot of work. And they're right here. And I got multiple copies, not only here in the house, they're all over the world amongst other people. This one is encased in solid copper, so it's protected against electromagnetic pulse, and it's the same 1 terabyte solid-state drive. So I have it inside of an EM shield right there. This also, too, can hang around your neck. And I've got several copies of this. I actually handmade the cases for these out of solid copper. So I'm not throwing away a third of my life. But there's so many people, and I get contacted all the time because I have many videos on data protection. People, they think their computer is a data storage device, and it's not. They think, well, I got a backup copy, that's enough. No, it's not enough. It's not even close to enough. There are a few people out there that can rightfully say and have told me that, I don't have any important data. I find that hard to believe, actually, but there might be people out there. They just might not use a computer much. They might not have that much important data. I, however, do, and you probably do too. There are very few people like that now. There's like, I don't have anything important, my computer crashes, I don't care. Let's get another computer. Doesn't matter. There are very few people like that. I've heard so many heartache stories. Nice apple. I've heard so many horror stories from people about losing their data. Just stop being so confident in that new computer. That I've seen so much stuff happen. It's kind of like a cop, a cop that shows up to these horrible scenes where like the head's up in the tree and there's bodies laying around. They've seen it. Like, that's why cops are jaded. They've seen the bad stuff that you don't see. Cops see it. I'm kind of like a cop of data corruption. I've seen so much bad stuff happen to people. When you're smart and you follow the plan that I recommend in the article below, the best thing that could happen to you if your computer crashes and all that important data on its gone, like, so what? I got 10 copies of it here and there, and the most important stuff is on archival optical. And also, too, you need to learn the difference between a backup and an archive. Backups are revolving. Archive is like throw it in a deep vault, lock the door, and then throw it behind another door. The only true archival data storage is archival optical. And I don't care what you think about optical. When it comes to long-term data storage where you throw it in a safe and you forget about it for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, there is only one thing only, and it's archival optical, period. I'm not burning disks. Who cares? I don't care what you want. But nobody likes burning disks. It's the only option for true archival, and that is the holy crap when it comes to data. It's like stuff that you don't dare lose under any circumstances. Period. Pictures of the family, great grandmother, you might have had them digitized. You want them there for your children and great grandchildren. You're like, all of dad's life's work is on this solid state drive or hard drive. It's been sitting in the safe in humidity control conditions, kept cool and dry. And, it's gone. Why did it go? Oh, bit rot. You don't know what bit rot is, you need to figure out what the hell bit rot is. It's like, this is a brand new solid state drive. I'm just going to load it up and stick it in the safe and forget about it. Can't do it because of bit rot. You know how you get around bit rot? Archival optical data storage. Yeah, they're those discs. But not that junk you buy at Best Buy. Yeah, you feel me, girlfriend? Do you feel me? I'm going to eat this apple later. Anyway, hope you like this video. Check out the article below. Everybody should actually have one of these, by the way, especially if you travel, since there's no moving parts. These are SanDisk 1 terabyte solid state drives. They go on sale for $100. Right now, I think they're like 130 average. These are 1 terabyte. They come with a USB-C or also to an adapter for regular USB-C. USB, excuse me. Everybody should have a couple of these. I got more than a few of them. I kind of migrated. Of course, we all know solid state drives are expensive compared to hard drives, but I'm starting to migrate away from hard drives, even though I still have an enormous amount of hard drives. Anyway, I hope you like this video, and have a good one. Goodbye. I'm going to go peek my head out the window and look at all that fluffy snow falling out in the yard. Fluffy snow. Goodbye.